and realities, we shall focus on the COVID-19 pandemic in Cameroon with the fundamental question: where are we with the barrier measures, the COVID-19 vaccine, and the fourth allocated to the fight against the coronavirus in pandemic in Cameroon. As our teaser this afternoon, we shall look at the electoral code. Much talk this week has been on the possible changes that may be come up in the electoral code, with some political parties coming in come together to see how some of those items or articles in the electoral code could be changed. And the fundamental question we are asking this afternoon: if at all the electoral code of Cameroon needs to be changed, what should be changed in the electoral code? Is it the 2 rounds of elections? Is it more Cameroonians to be registered into the electoral code? We are going to find out from our experts, politicians who are part of this program today, not leaving out our usual slots in the program topics and realities. We are going to have a press review with Susan Yaounde, our write-up of the week, with Promise Akante. And the team keeping you company this afternoon is made up of Karapuda St. Teresa copyright clerk, Solomon Isana is our sound engineer, plus our video editor on our Facebook page, Royal FM Cameroon. Topics and Realities, a production of Royal FM with editorial coaching coming from Jean Pasantala. Coordination is done by our own station manager, Bertrand Wuna. General supervision is ensured by Reverend Pastor Emmanuel Nobesai. Call me the moderator. I am the son of Danki. My name is Abel Bela Samari. When we come back after this musical piece, we are going to introduce to you our guests who are already in the studio with me this afternoon. Good afternoon once again.
All these happy things
Thank you very much, Solomon Sana, for that music. That is the selection of Solomon Sana this afternoon. You say it is Prince Nico Barga, and the title is Death. But one thing that really caught my attention is when they said, if man dey live forever, he go better. That's a very strong statement. And we are just tuning in. The program is Topics and Realities. Our access code this afternoon is 655543457, 655543457, 671157321. Let me welcome Lambert Nelson. Good afternoon to you, Nelson.
Good afternoon, Bebela Samari.
It's a pleasure for us to have you.
Yeah, good afternoon to the listeners of Royal FM. Good afternoon to the technician, and good afternoon to my fellow panelists.
We just got news that Victor for Mukete 103, as he's been called, is no more. And that is the last Fon Victor. Mukete is no more. And that is if my memory is right, that is the last person who attended the reunification meeting in Cameroon that is passing away. A great loss for the Anglophone community.
No.
After
There's
Christian
no great loss.
Cardinal Tsumi.
No great loss. Maybe great loss to Cameroon, but not particular to the Anglophone community. But again, it's bad good news because we go very sad, and our heart are saddened if people die on premature death. He's a complete person. He has lived it all. He has it all. Yeah. From the day you were born, you know that you will die. But we cry at times if people die prematurely. But the death of Fon EVE Mukete, the paramount font of the people of the Bafor people of Kumba, I think it calls for celebration.
Okay.
103 years is not given to any other person. It's a death, of course, but this is a type of death that if everybody was to die at that age, I think people will not frown. Yeah. People will not mourn. People will not cry. They will celebrate because when you were born, you know that you will die. But again, you just said something. It's not a loss to the Anglophone community, especially when it comes to the crisis, because we know exactly.
The loss here, Lambis, is in the sense that we have a very confused history in Cameroon. And a lot of people thought that by now we will be able to rewrite our history the way it is supposed to be. And these are the last living libraries that are moving away. If they are going and allowing the history the way it is, that in the confused state, who is going to rewrite and give us the real facts when it comes to Cameroon history? Because not knowing our past and where we come from is a contributing factor to some of the problems we are facing today.
Yes, in philosophy, it is said that if you don't know your history, then you are a cultural bastard. It means you don't know where you're coming from, and you never know where you're going to.
Yeah.
Fon Mukete was somebody who was like an encyclopedia of what has happened in the yesteryears since 1959. Not even 1960, not 1961, but 1959. But he was not the one to write it. He was supposed to be like a library to the historians, those that are supposed to write our book, and they get the first-hand information. Yes, first-hand information from people like that. Mm-hmm. But I'm sorry, you don't speak bad against the dead.
Yeah.
But these people were twisting, distorting, channeling the history to face their political ego and selfishness and, I don't know, self-centeredness. They didn't give the history the way it was supposed to be. In academics and in academia, you don't lie. You say it the way it is. You don't go to school for a teacher to start telling you lies because he belongs to a political party. No. He teaches you the truth for you to choose. That is the reason. That's the reason when you see one of the revolutionaries of Africa, like Julius Nyerere, like Nkwame Nkrumah, like Jomo Kenyatta, all those people got to revolutionize, to make Africa to come from nowhere to somewhere. We saw the independence of Ghana one time when Nkwame Nkrumah said the independence of Ghana without the independence of the whole of Africa is of no use, because they had the information. They were not there to see, but this information was dished out to them by tutors, by teachers, by professors. In the academia milieu, you don't do politics. You speak the truth. You teach the students the truth. You say it the way they were supposed to be said. But in Cameroon, we politicize education, we politicize our universities, and we twist and distort the history. That's the reason at times when I say, oh, us sitting here, the west of the Mongo, at times we have 80% of the history of Cameroon. It means you could not be doing history in the west of the Mongo without doing French history, without knowing about the people of the other side of the Mongo. But sincerely speaking, bring professors of the other language of this country, bring them in your platform, and you ask them to bring out historical heroes in Cameroon. They will limit the
those people, they have lived, they have everything. They have served their nation already. They have given to us all what they could do, they could give. And then it's true they were still there just to like clinging to their positions, even though they had already given enough. They had to give the opportunity to others to give what they have in their stomach. But it's okay. We thank the Lord because at least they have lived for long. They are not youths that just died, but there are people who give everything, and then we thank them for that. But just to a little bit to correct what you said, I think we still have a certain library. We was a weakness of the reunification. We have Fon and Wafa of Bankon. We still alive.
Yes,
At least we thank God for that. It's not everything is all gone. We still have a living library.
Historians need to watch.
Yeah,
and rewrite the history. But the question I want to ask you, because they said those who are supposed to do the living part to bring out the history are being politicized, and you are a political scientist. In the political scientist theory, is there no way you people can we bring governance to, or in the system to tell these people that we need to differentiate politics from academic?
It's true. What our brother said there, I completely agree with him because from what I've seen, I've studied in the University of Boya, where we did, let me say, we did a Cameroon history. Before that, I did history in secondary school. Supposed to be. I also saw that how Professor Bala, Dr. Bala Agbobala, he was sanctioned because he set an exam on what he knew was right. He was sanctioned for that. And then we see that in the Cameroon political atmosphere, we see most of our professors, our teachers are instead playing politics. They are not doing the right things. And the only person who thinks that
is it not the system that is pushing them to?
I think it's our system.
One
it's
must
our
survive.
system. They have to survive, and then they are doing what they think is right for their party. They respect party discipline. But in Cameroon, it's not good because what we are facing is I think it's time for everybody to see the truth and to shape the things the way they are supposed to be for the betterment of our nation.
We move to the politicians. I have Wumi, who is of the SDF party, Yaounde 5. Good afternoon to you, Wumi, and he happens to also be a history teacher.
Yeah, for sure. Good afternoon. And I always wonder you should emphasize that I am the representative of
the
SDF at Elekam Yaounde 5. Very, very important.
Very important.
Okay.
I hope that is not also helping you to change the history of Cameroon. Each time you are telling the children when it comes to something, you try to push it out because it does not really fit into your political cap.
Okay, before I come to your question, permit me to extend my regards to those who are listening to us.
Yeah.
Because I always say, if they are not there, we are not here. So I'll equally greet the technician, the sound technician, my co-panelist,
and call him King Solomon, the wisest technicians in Royal FM.
And my wife, who is my number one fan, she's listening to me, Angela.
And she's the one that always give you permission.
For sure, you know that I think.
Just go. Thank you very much, Madam Wumi, for what you are doing.
That's wonderful.
Here at Royal FM.
That's wonderful. All the same, as a teacher, when we're in class, you don't decide to teach what you want to teach. Right?
Yeah.
There is a whole program that you have to teach, whether you like it or not. Whether the program falls between within your understanding,
your understanding,
you must teach what is supposed to be done. If you want to teach something else, you go out of the school and you teach something else. There are times that you are teaching and you know that what you are teaching is not right, but it is a government that says you must teach it. You see, we're in a Napoleonic style of government where there's a particular program that is supposed to be taught everywhere in Cameroon. You can see we go to Britain, people choose what they have to choose, what they want to teach in their schools, in their various schools. University have different programs.
Ignorance.
For sure.
We are going to organize a 2 hours discussion on our educational system. Maybe we'll have opportunity to talk about, but we are seeing a wave of somebody said the wind is blowing, and our statesmen are fast leaving the scene, especially some of these statesmen are politicians.
Yeah, it is quite unfortunate that things are happening this way, that people are just going that way. You see, talking about Fon Mokete, you know, I am a Kumba boy, K-Town boy. I was born in K-Town. So it is it's a great loss
very
for
close
us.
to the palace.
Yeah, it's a great loss for us because his father, I mean the father of Victor Mukete. He is who actually welcome, open his hands for strangers in quotes to enter into Kuma. If you go to Kuma, you see that the about 3 times the number of the Bafo people in Kuma. So I want to pay my homage to King Ifon Mukete, because that's somebody who took his courage. He was the Federal Minister for Information in Nigeria, federal, not a regional minister, because he had the Eastern Regional and Eastern Regional South. No, he was a federal minister. And when the issue of unification came in, he stood firmly. Good things of people done, or rather than concentrating on the little lapses they have, because none of us
is perfect.
None of us is actually perfect. Okay. Now, coming to Minduzi, in fact, that's also somebody that I in one way or the other hail. Though you know he had some difficulty with the justice system, but that's somebody that we know. I sometimes see him like Robin Hood, you know, in the British mythology. Talk of Robin Hood. That's somebody who steals from the rich people and distribute to the poor, because there are hundreds and probably, maybe I'm not exaggerating, thousands of people. I was a little people when I was going to Bastos. That's government bilingual primary school, Bastos. You see, people stood. He used to live at is it Nkoliton? very early in the morning, people were lined up on a queue, very long queue.
It was dishing out.
I mean, and he was helping them. In fact, you cannot come and talk to him, and he doesn't do anything.
Okay.
Yes, so many people can give you testimony.
Okay.
And you see, he did a work of art. That is, whenever you are doing a work of art, it's like you are contributing in creation.
Yeah.
In fact, like, because the Francophone would say, "Vue de l'esprit,"
Yeah.
de l'esprit.
The
work of the spirit, right?
word of the
When you
spirit
do
was-
it, when you he wrote his book. I had a copy of that book. It sent to me in between the government of Bia and in between the government of Bia and Egypt. I think that was one of his first political books that he wrote to show how it was not easy for him to resist Ahijo in Garwa, in Yagwa, in Garwa. Then when he came to Douala, it was already Bia. So it wasn't easy. You understand the issue of the commandement operation, which was that was in Douala.
Yeah.
That you could just, the minute you could just see your face with your rascal and say, "This man is a rascal."
It was the
Take
same
him and
the same thing I was just telling Lambis a few minutes ago.
that's it.
They are just moved.
You see, so these people,
that we may not belong to the same political parties or that we may not share the same political views does not necessarily mean that if something positive, for instance, were to come from me, we cannot appreciate it. So that way around, if we lose someone, it's but normal you pay that person for what the person, for who the person is, or for who the person was, or what the person did. It's true that politically
and we'll see. And I listened from your video of a communique. No, no.
I would like to answer. Each time they talk about party, I
Good afternoon to you, Julius. Yes, listening to it. I know the central region has also taken their position, trying to call it. People say that it should go to the next meeting. They should come back to the Secretary General. I think that is the information.
Yeah, for sure.
We are not talking about Ninche and SDF.
Yes, we are.
My heart.
No, my heart. I'm very.
It's your political fight.
Yeah, I'm very happy that the central region, where I belong, actually came out not to frustrate any party, but to bring people together to say, okay.
But some people in your central region are already criticizing even your central regional president, Emmanuel Tonga, for single-handedly writing that letter. That letter could have been done in the executive.
No.
The executive already have a lot of problems.
People are going to
far north region. The different regional heads should be coming up with their own letter also.
Bella Samari, there's one important thing. The entity will still remain.
Okay.
So that's what I want to let them know. And John Fundy, the chairman, and I greet him. He's in his house in Swan. I believe that he's listening to me because I am one of his lieutenant.
Okay.
Yeah. So
lieutenant that can become the general.
For sure. For sure.
If there's any possibility,
he's our leader. So he's quiet, and we said we are going to get that issue in the next way to take a final decision. And we, the militant, the grassroots militant, we are going to take our final decision when it comes to the convention. So who speaks more, expresses his weaknesses.
Okay. We are not here for the SDF party. 6755955 675543457 671 655543457 671157321. Let's now welcome Susan Yaounde, who is here with our press review. Good afternoon to you, Susan.
Greetings to you, Abel, to the panelists, and to all Royal FM listeners and Facebook page followers. Welcome to today's edition of the weekly press review. Let's begin with Monday's editions, as the death of Cardinal Tumi featured unanimously on all papers. Then Newswatch newspaper had as main headline, "After France, Britain calls for inclusive dialogue to resolve Anglophone crisis." Another story featured, "At Maiden Open Day, Higher Technical Teachers Training College Kumba showcases talents that will drive economy to emergence." Cameroon Insider, meanwhile, had as main headline, "Cameroon-UK relations, Paul Biya outgoing envoy review progress." Still on this paper, a story featured, "Government unveils plan to check recurrent power cuts." The Voice newspaper, meanwhile, had a story titled, "UN Humanitarian Coordinator condemns attack convoy in Southwest." The Post newspaper had a story, "Joint fight against hate speech, Musonge Commission enjoins stakeholders." The Garden Post on its part despite Frundi's caution. In sports, Cameroon Tribune headlined, "CAF Confederation Cup, Cotonou Sports takes the lead." On Wednesday, the pressmen came back with a follow-up of Christian Cardinal Tumi's passing away unto glory. Cameroon Tribune mentioned his funeral, which went through on April 6th. Meanwhile, Emergence Bilingual Daily titled, "Debates emerge over how his replacements will be named." Apart from that, the Garden Post in politics had its main headline, "Strong indicators Biya regime failing." Another story featured on this same paper as, "UN says gender inequality major obstacle to Cameroon's development." The Sun newspaper had a story, "Mukete versus Mukete, why threat of court action against Senator Victor E. Mukete" by Son Colin Ebako. In culture, Cameroon Tribune had a story, "Urban Music, the Strides of Mr. Leo." On Thursday, Cameroon Tribune had a story featured, "Boosting Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Innovative Startups Supported." Looking at the Herald Tribune, its main headline was, "Tumi's Death, Biya Sends Belated Condolence Message." Another story featured, "Insecurity Hampers Construction of Road to Mancon Palace." The Garden Post on its part had as main headline, "Despite rising killings, atrocities in Northwest, Southwest, UN Security Council says Anglophone crisis not on agenda anytime soon." Another story on this same paper was titled, 2021 Best Practices Award, FACOM sets aside 105 million francs CFA for meritorious councils. In health, the Post Weekender had as main headline, 15 of us have died within days. Protesting kidney disease patients cry out. On the Herald Tribune, a story featured, as COVID-19 cases surge, West Governor suspends funeral ceremonies. Then in sports, this same paper had the story, PWD Bamenda supporter makes huge donation to club. Meanwhile, Cameroon Tribune had this story, Mark Vivian Fowe Award, Toko Ekambi shortlisted. Then on Friday, The Voice Weekender had as main headline, Yaounde Douala Expressway partial inauguration, long overdue breaking news. Another story was titled, Amnesty issues double blame report on Anglophone crisis. In a related story, 2 million kids in urgent need of humanitarian assistance in Cameroon, UN, featured on The Voice. The Guardian Post had a story titled, France to shut down Enam-type bias alma mater. Another story featured, Konak boss tells Parliament, non-implementation of Article 66 of major obstacle to corruption fight. Then the Post Weekender had a story, after return to Palace, Nso Fon calls for reciprocal forgiveness. We end this press review in sports as the Guardian Post had this story, retired journalist Chebonkeng wins prestigious sports award. And Cameroon Tribune had this story, Olympic qualifiers, Lionesses ready to roar. That wraps up today's package of the press review. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned and see you same time next week for another edition.
Thank you very much, Susan Nayonge. We are equally going to have our own Promise Akanti, who is here with our write-up for the week. Good afternoon to you, Promise.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Moderator, Staffman Abel. Bella Samari, sure you've had a great week with activities at the National Assembly. Weekend salutations to all those listening on 88.4 FM and those watching us live on Facebook on Real FM Cameroon. A very cordial welcome to all our guests. This week has been a very busy one with lots of activities that got Cameroonians talking. The National Assembly came back to the fight against corruption, questioning the president of CONAC on what could possibly be the hindrance. But one other thing that got Cameroonians talking is the electoral code. Well, the group of 6 opposition political parties came together and drafted a document supposedly meant to either amend the existing electoral code or to come up with an entirely new one. Those who have been following up the political life of Cameroon can attest to the fact that if there is one point on which the opposition jointly agrees is on the electoral code, which they say is problematic. What needs to be modified? Does the electoral code of Cameroon need just an amendment or a complete overhaul? That is probably the question to ask on the management of the COVID-19 pandemic in Cameroon so far. Government barrier measures put in place more than a year ago can barely be respected, even by some government authorities themselves, with the existing ones already penalizing citizens enough, especially our young learners, without the accompanying positive results going by the ever-increasing number of new cases and deaths. It baffles the ordinary citizen why more measures considered baseless are being brought up. For example, the governor of the West region has suspended the holding of funerals across the region for 2 months, knowing the traditional significance and importance of this ceremony on the pretext that funeral grounds assemble huge crowds, thus a favorable ground for the rapid spread of the coronavirus. The Minister of Secondary Education, on her part, has reiterated that students and teachers present a negative COVID-19 test result before entering school campuses. Yet, there is the cry for the acute shortage of COVID-19 test kits, and for the few existing ones, they are sold at cutthroat prices. The announced arrival of 200,000 COVID-19 vaccines from China, with priority to be given to medical personnel, too, has caused the flow of a lot of ink and saliva. The cacophony surrounding the entire management of the COVID-19 in Cameroon is a call for concern from the funds allocated that are yet to be accounted for, to the implementation of the barrier measures with accompanying measures, and now the whole vaccine brouhaha, there is definitely much to say about the state of COVID-19 in Cameroon. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Moderator, dear panelists, listeners and viewers, let us not forget to bring out our suggestions in an orderly manner, for this is the platform which offers us the opportunity to contribute our fair share to nation building. Say it as it is. This is Topics and Realities.
Thank you very much, Promise Akante. At the beginning of this week, the head of the communication units of the CPDM party, Professor Jacques Famdongo, in response to a letter, will respond to a communique issued by a group of political parties who are seeking for change in the electoral code of Cameroon. Some of these political parties, they came together under a certain platform to ask for better electoral code, to propose different solutions as of what they need to amend in the electoral code of Cameroon. And these political parties, they held their first meeting at the head office of the UDC party, and it was agreed that by the 15th of the month of April, all of them should send in their proposal so that they can select and they can come out with a new, if not a new electoral code, but a better and a more efficient electoral code of Cameroon. And when we look at the parties that had to enter into this platform for the change of the electoral code, we have the UMS of Pierre Kwamo, we have the USDP of Prince Ekoso, we have the SDF party that was represented by Joshua Osi, the first vice president of the party. We have the PCRM party of Cabral Libi. We have the MRC party of Maurice Kamto. We have the UDC party that was represented by acting president, Honorable Madame Dam Joya. And we equally have the MP party of former Jean-Jacques Ekinde. But this time, since he moved over to the CPDM party, that party has a new leader. Who Zipang Helan, who was also represented. So the 7 political parties that attended. Now, the head of the communication unit of the CPDM party, in response to this letter, said that they should not waste their time because everything passed at the level of the National Assembly, and they should not forget that the CPDM party has the majority, the absolute majority at the level of the National Assembly. The first question I want to put to our political
from the onset, we see that one and the same party has been governing us for the past 37 years. In democratic norms, is not normal due to all the crises we are having and all the mismanagement and bad governance that we are facing in our nation. So I think that if the electoral code was changed or was normal, it will have a level playground for everybody. We think that we have seen some kind of change or some kind of change of power. But since there hasn't been change, we will see on the same status quo.
The same status quo. Evis, if we need to change the electoral code, what should we change?
Mr.
Is it the
Bella
whole
Samari,
code, we come up with a new one, or we amend on certain articles in the electoral code?
I'm afraid I may be answering your question partially out of it. You know, it is there are things that could be modified within the electoral code, but I want to think that the priority as of now is not the electoral code itself.
Where lies the priority?
We need powerful institutions in this country first, and not just the electoral code. What I'm simply saying is this.
But we have powerful institutions.
No, we don't have any.
For example,
country.
the National Assembly.
We don't have any
institution where those laws will pass.
I'm sorry to disappoint you and disappoint maybe
you
Royal FM listeners, but we don't have powerful institutions in this country.
To me how,
of course,
why
I'm coming.
Okay,
I'm coming. What I'm saying is this, Mr. Bella Samari. You just quoted Minister Famindongo, who outrightly made it clear. And when you read, I think the 4th point of that document he wrote, you understand that those who are forming a coalition to come out with a new electoral code, they can burn their midnight candles and propose the best of codes that humanity has ever known. The CPDM will frustrate those honest efforts at the level of the National Assembly, the time it tabled it there, so that Parliament deliberates on it. Why? Because their objective there is not to work to the best interest of Cameroonians, but to should I say, to serve party lines. And since they are not out to the best to work for Cameroonians, obviously, if you are proposing something that they feel or see in it, see it as a threat to their own interests as a CPDM, the truth is that they will use their obese majority to make sure that that document doesn't go through. And that is why, and in fact, that is what he expressly said in that document. That is to tell you, therefore, that as far as the coalition is concerned in this country, I want to think that the political parties that have come for a coalition, yes, electoral code should be one of the things they should be working on, but the first thing they need to know is that the coalition should first of all work to see how they can rather use some sort of pressure to first of all let this regime quit, and then the electoral code can come later on. But if you want to think that electoral code, no matter how good it is, can be used as a fair
when you talk of pressure, can you break it down to us?
No,
this type of pressure, I think this is
we
one of the
need a
pressure
transition in this country, you see. And now if the opposition leaders come together and they go beyond the electoral code, you will understand that there is a need for Cameroonians to mobilize and bear on the government, bear some pressure on government to understand that there are things they can no longer take from this particular regime. That's what we are saying. But like I say, if you think that you will propose an electoral code, no matter how good it is, and then use it as a means of kicking this government out of place, I say it cannot work. Because when I talk about institutions, you cannot, I always like to say that you can never defeat this regime through election, because first, we are not living in a democracy. Secondly, all the institutions put in place are meant to favor a particular person in place. If you come back to our to the governors, the DOs, whosoever, you come to the ELECAM, the Constitutional Council, all these institutions are put in place to work to the interest of just one person. And like I say, I am quoting back Minister Famindongo in his own document. He made it clear to Cameroonians. The message was clear, it was not coded. If you come out with your electoral code, no matter how good it is, they will block it at the National Assembly and vote the one that pleases them. So at the end of the day, you would have just wasted time for nothing. But now what I'm saying is, people can propose an electoral code and keep, knowing that it will be implemented after Bia's regime is no longer there. And that's what I think.
Umeyi Bertrand, you are also into politics, and you are a member of the opposition party, the SDF party, that was represented by your first vice president in the electoral court. Now, this is making us to almost lost hope when we thought that the time has come for us in the days ahead. If the new electoral code is being come out, some of the articles in the code be amended, we are going to have free and fair elections in Cameroon. But it seems as if that is far-fetched. When we look at the outing of the communication officer of the CPDM party, what is your party now at this point in time? What do you think that you can do to force that change?
Yes, Bella Samari, you know, there was a time here we heard of the Ministry of Territorial Administration organizing elections, and later on, out of the pressure that the SDF meted on the government, they brought O'Neill. You quite remember with
we have new one, O'Neill,
yes, O'Neill one, two, new two, and later on
people like Tufon Baraka, Nico Halle that came in at the point in time in the political scene.
Yeah, we have Ngayap. There was a certain Ngayap who was the president. Yeah, not. In fact, so and later on, the pressure we still put some pressure on. Let me tell you, we have never had majority in the National Assembly, never. But we're mounting pressure on them. And how do you mount pressure? There are two ways. There are two fundamental ways.
They give you for election Cameroon.
Yes, election Cameroon.
Election Cameroon, is it satisfying?
No, the truth is that election Cameroon was supposed to be a consensual issue. We would have come to a consensus, right? What we saw was that the Prime Minister called the SDF called UNDP, called funny parties, and just later on he just came out with something that nobody contributed in.
Which are the funny parties that you are
You see,
talking about?
so I'm saying that the Prime Minister invited political parties in his office to discuss on what should be the electoral code. By the end of the day, they actually sat and decided on what to choose, right? We're not saying that our contribution was totally rejected. No. But there are some key issues that were, for instance, we wanted that election should be an independent body. When we talk about independent body, it means that the body takes care of from the beginning of the process, electoral process, from the beginning to the end. That is pronouncing, giving the results of the elections, right? But you see, at the same time, Elekam we don't know where Elekam is. That's why you see in the last election, in the last regional, in the last presidential election, Elekam also came out with proposals that there are certain things that we have to amend within the electoral process. So they too see that there's a problem with the electoral code. Let me give an example. If a child of 18 years commits a crime now, he is penally responsible. We know that very well. He's penally responsible. He goes to prison.
Yeah.
And so how do you believe that? How do you
even into military today?
Yes. But how do you explain that child in that same country will be refused the right to vote on a flimsy excuse that he's a child? Whereas if he commits a crime, he goes to a normal adult prison. He can even, in fact, he can serve the army, he can serve his country in the army, and some other things that he can do. So I believe that even at the level of the age, we should come and see how
one of the reforms is that
of the age. Another one is we want that Elekam should be autonomous. That is, we know how much because we know that money sometimes make people to behave in a very funny way. And again, they should have a mandate. Those who are elected into, in fact, who are appointed, even they have been appointed by the head of state, right? They should have a time limit. As we will say, okay, this you have a mandate of 8 years and non-renewable, right? We say either we say 6 years or non-renewable, and when you finish, you are out. Because this issue of saying that you can be there, we can renew after 2 years, we are renewing everything. You see, it makes people, they have to work. You know, you have to do everything to suit the whims and caprices of those who appoint them. So our struggle is this, that we should gather as many political parties as possible, because the fact that we went to the UDC headquarters is a sign of humility. Because the UDC in this country is no more represented than the SAF. No matter the type of difficulty we have, they are no more represented than the SAF. But we were humble enough to send our first vice president to go and represent us. That he was with the UDC.
Yeah, they say it's not a coalition, but it come together.
Yeah, it come together, and I believe that I was saying in Magic FM yesterday that even if political parties come together all the time, even just to share a wine is something very, very positive, because they know they are correct. They should actually, where they can come together, they should come together. And I was trying to tell my brother, because he's so pessimistic over the issue. But I'm saying that this struggle, the SDF have been doing it for so many years, and sometimes alone. Where we are with the election, it is the SDF struggle, and no one can doubt that the issue. So we know those things. We know how to press the government, how to press charge against the government, how to get to donors, because there are two ways.
When the minister is already telling you what will happen.
He is not a minister. He is the communication secretary. He is not a minister.
Okay.
He is speaking as the communication secretary.
When the communication officer of the ruling party
for sure
tells you that we have.
These were the same people that in 1990 they were saying that. Le multipartisme est sans objet. That's what they were saying. But at the same time, President Biya sat and he was sitting on a hot seat, right? He was on a hot seat and said, préparons-nous pour une concurrence éventuelle. He told the militants that we are not able to withstand the pressure. So the pressure was so hard. So he told them that préparez-vous. Because they were marching from Emma Bazil, they were marching the whole Yaounde to tell people that you people will not come here, they are multipartism. But when John Fundi stood up and his brother, Siga Sanga in Bamenda, and launched a party, 6 people lie dead. Good. And we honor their memories. So we came and we pushed things, and things happen. So my brother, there are 2 ways we can push this thing and it will change. First, because by the way, Joshua Ossi.
Maybe that's why Joshua Ossi called for the Cameroonian pressure, like the Cameroonians that came out in the 90s to support
for sure
the SDF, for them to be able to launch it.
After the meeting about 2 days ago, Joshua Ossie met the High Commissioner of Canada.
Yeah.
You see, it is just the continuation of the meeting, right?
Okay.
So we are supposed to come out with a task force. The first thing is to see the donors, those who give money to Cameroon, those who give that, those loans to Cameroon. That's the first thing. Because those are the maybe I'm leaving out the secret of the SDF. But that's how we have been working. That's how we have been working. That is, we meet the donors and tell them, okay. That's why we're telling the probably each time when an ask money to him, okay, in order for us to give you our money, come out with a electoral body, come out with a code that is befitting. So, but now that all the political parties in Cameroon, except those who are in the government, all of them, we are all unanimous that we must change the code. There is nothing, we must change the code. So the first thing is to go to the donors. The next thing is to mobilize people on the field, which is very, very fundamental.
Okay. Now,
I think, my brother, you are coming back to what I mentioned here about pressure. Because like I said, talking just about the code in itself,
yes, okay,
really not change anything much if the pressure is not there.
For sure, but we have to meet to see
the
lapses of the code.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bella Samari.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, Pastor Adam.
Pastor Adam.
Yes, how are you?
I'm very fine.
Okay, I greet all of you.
Thank you very much, Pastor Adam.
Yeah. So, I agree with my brother who was just talking just now.
Okay.
Yes.
Wumi Betran of the SDF party.
Yes, I agree with him. Nothing good comes easy. So Cameroonians have to know it very well. Now the CPTM members are going up and down saying that the President of the Republic has given us the opportunity to speak as we want. What they call in French, liberté d'expression.
Yes.
And they forget that it was SDF and other parties that fought for that. And it was just forced to allow things going as it's going on now. So we have to be very serious. PTGM cannot make that the electoral code. Yes, higher education was saying. He knew very well that in the parliament they are having what they call majority. So nothing can pass there. If they don't allow it to pass. And then you know that if with this code that we are having now, the CRF have been very good electoral code. CPTM cannot win election here in this country.
Okay, sir.
I'm having the proof. You
Okay.
know, in this Yaounde, we are having some of radio stations that used to organize elections
Okay, sir.
on air. Mr. Tia never won.
Okay.
He will come third, fourth. He cannot come first. In the capital, like Yaounde, he cannot win. So CPGM cannot win an election in here in Cameroon.
Okay.
If Mr. Famendogo is saying that CPGM is a party that used to win,
We got your point.
Yes, let them accept.
Okay, sir.
Yes,
Thank you very much,
the
Pastor
electoral
Adam.
code should be very toileted so that it should help that transition should come through election.
Okay, sir.
If they don't want, you will use another means.
Okay, sir. You can still come back. The program is Topics and Realities, and our access code this afternoon is 655-5434-57, 655-5434-57, 671-1573-21. I want to greet Chi Jedone Hitu, is a member of the SDF party, and to equally you had the floor. You had the floor because I have some SMS. Let me finish with you.
Yes, I was saying that. You see, it is our duty. If not, history will judge us.
Okay.
It is in our own best interest to look at what is not working in the society, and try to make it work. So, and the SDF is at the forefront. No matter what people can say, no matter what people have against the SDF, we are doing our job. We know that politics is what we used to say in Bamenda, ahead, right? You understand what we mean by ahead in Bamenda. So we are trying to do as you know, to try in our struggle as much as we can in order to bring political parties together. And I'm still saying that the UDC, I think, coming to their headquarters in Yaounde is like they actually initiated, because right up to now they have not told us who initiated, right? But I believe that it is a sign of being would come to, because though I'm still I'm not always okay with them for the fact that they rejected the 2000 elections. That's the regional.
I'm talking about the electoral.
Yeah, I don't have any interest in talking something negative about the CRM, right?
Yes,
because now we are coming together. So that we should be able to clean our or wash our dirty leniencies within us,
and the
same hiding. And so we come together, and Kawala herself said in the next meeting she'll be present. Okay. So we are mobilizing as many political parties as possible, because when the donors will ask us that how many of you are there, we will tell them that we are many of us.
Okay.
We are we are here.
Hello,
the only
good
party.
Afternoon.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Method Man.
We may not necessarily be to revise the electoral code. The problem that we may have, or we will soon have, will still come from within the opposition political parties. By that, I mean that out of all those political parties that are canvassing for a review of the electoral code, maybe it is only one party there that I know have stood the test of time. The day some of them fish and take positions, like we know, I keep talking, Minister is like the rumor, having a party, the other person. What is that? Is that opposition? It's a complementary party to the government, not opposition. So what I'm saying is that opposition parties will be opposition, not complementary parties. government.
What would you like to see change in the electoral code?
Well, the first thing I would like to see change is that electors should be independent.
Okay.
By independence, I mean that they should be able to register voters, organize elections, come out with the results, and publish.
Code within a particular context. There is what they call the Anglophone crisis, which has claimed so many lives for years today. There is an eminent transition at the helm of the state, which is getting more and more precise. There are crises all over Cameroon, and so therefore, elections being a mode of recruitment is very capital to be able to solve all these problems.
Thank you very much, T. to those listeners that are coming in. Nelson Lambers, you have listened. It seems as if one of the major problems we do have in Cameroon is the too much structure that align when it comes to electoral code. But the worrisome part of it is that I want us to do some critical thinking. Being the legal mind and the philosopher that you are, is it appropriate for a political party to tell another political party that have the absolute majority, no matter what you do, nothing will change?
You do it. Between the government and the CPDM. People of the CPDM, they missed. I don't know if they are doing it deliberately or it's out of ignorance or it's provocation. You don't talk in between, within the ambit of a political party, and you talk like a statesman. He was not talking as a statesman. We have a so-called, I don't know, a communicator of the government. That if the Cameroon government or the state of our country wants to talk, they will not pass through the Minister of Higher Education. They know exactly where to go to. Now, he was not talking as a minister. He was talking as a secretary of communication of a political party, which is a private organization. I want to disagree with the representative of the PAP party, and even with the minister. The minister said something of which, I don't know, they call him minister of state. No, he has another professor emeritus, I don't know, professor something. It's like he has gone above the echelon of professors. But when he said it, I actually listened to him. I said, hey, what is happening to my country? Is it that because you have gone to school on a particular level of, you start behaving as if you are still in the kindergarten? Because you can't say a political party don't have a right to sit and then discuss on how electoral code needs to be changed. It is not.
Is it lawful?
It is very, very lawful. The National Assembly does not deliberate on bills. The National Assembly receives private member bills and government member bills. They scrutinize it and they vote it to become a law. The National Assembly don't go and start changing. They want the electoral code. They will not do that. They will wait it to come from the private members. That's the members of the National Assembly. And on that meeting, I saw 2 members of the National Assembly. 2. Honorable Kabalibi and Honorable TB Joshua. Every member of the National Assembly, every member of the National Assembly, it is the representative of the people.
Yeah.
It is the representative of the people.
Yeah.
Ebebela Samari, you cannot
language.
bite your finger that fits you.
Yeah.
If they are there, it's because the people send them to be there. The political parties are the people who define the policy of a state. And they come and they sit, and you send gendarmes to come and drive that they are doing something against it. It will never happen. Every law, every bill, what goes to the National Assembly is known as a bill. The members of the National Assembly, they vote that bill to become a law. And the President of the Republic enacts that law to become in force. That is how it happens. When the minister is telling us that bills are supposed to be drafted by members of the National Assembly in the National Assembly, it is terrible. It is really, really terrible. We know how we find our members of National Assembly in the Senate or in the National Assembly. Through political parties. There is no private individual who, when they individually, all of them are coming there because their political parties catapulted them there. So they come back and they say, okay, since in Cameroon, 18-year-old child is being incriminated, even if you commit a simple offense, a felony, or a misdemeanor, you will go to jail. How will you save your government at the level of the military to protect the sovereignty of a country at the age of 18, and you can't vote? Just imagine a military man who goes and stand and protect the sovereignty of a country, and the military man does not have a right to vote. And the people come and say, okay, we'll propose a bill to the National Assembly and tell them, okay, we need this amendment from the electoral code. A political party will propose it as a private member bill if it's not coming from the government. Okay, and the people of the National Assembly, if they are rightly representatives of the people, they put the interests of the people first. And they say, okay, if you can go to prison at the level of 18, if you can save your country at the level of 18, why is it that at the level of 18 you cannot vote? And automatically they vote it. It will be left for the President of the Republic not to enact that as to be enforceable in our country. But when he said that, I also when the minister said that, I also I don't know. It was like he made a mistake, because we saw something like electrical hand sanitizer, something of that sort. Maybe it was that sort of mistake. Now, a member of a political party is saying that we should wait when things will be fine, and then the political parties will step in. No political party on earth does not plan a revolution. No political party. When you join a political party, it means you are seeking for a change through democratic principles, democratic will. Okay? Or ever spearhead a revolution will come
Now,
spontaneously.
if the electoral code is more profitable or it is equitable where everybody can have his niche, don't you think that some of these political parties will go in? Would you like to go in for an election where you know that you will lose?
But sincerely speaking, what the political parties were saying, they are not trying to make the electoral code to be profitable to them. Let me tell you something. If you have 15 million people registered in the electoral register, they are not your potential voters. So everybody goes into the ballot box and you don't know what is inside the envelope. One of the callers just said something. We will have a good electoral code and it will give more power and make elecam to be independent, not autonomous. Okay? They organize election, they run the election, and they proclaim the elections in total, not giving 30 days, 60 days, and the GO should come and sign. The Minister of the Interior give a visa, the Constitutional Council comes and sit, and no. Let the elecam organize the elections, do everything, and proclaim the result. And they will know that these elections are credible. When the electoral code is good, it will not be profitable to a particular person. It will be equal, a level playground for everybody. Coming into the field, know that
Abel, ask Nelson if what he's saying can be practicable in Cameroon.
If you think it, then it's possible. If you think it, then it's possible. But if you don't think it, you will not do it. Because the highest intelligent person is the person who knows that he does not know. And when you know that you don't know, and then you start learning, at the end of the day, you will know, and automatically you get awareness. So if you think
Cameroonians should know that they don't know.
Yes, and then they start thinking to learn. They don't know. Yes.
And they start to think to learn how to ameliorate,
and they will know it.
If
you think it that is possible, then it will be possible. But if you think that is not possible, it will not be possible. But this is a country. This is a republic. This is a state. Whether you like it or not, they are state machineries. They are principles of the state. They are characteristics of the state. If today, because of bad faith and the democratic process is being twisted, it's not because people don't know that it can work. But trust me, one day it will work in this same country and everybody will be happy.
Yes, Elvis, you want to react?
I want to react because I have the impression that maybe Mr. Lambris did not get me well or whatsoever thing. Let me repeat myself.
Yeah.
I said from the onset that amending the electoral code, there are things to be amended in it, but that it was not a priority as of now because we need powerful institutions. I didn't say my political party was boycotting anything. I said there are things to be amended, but we first of all need powerful institution because no matter what you propose.
I saw a communique from your president who is in support
of course, we are in support of that move, and we said and the irony is that listen, please, I have the floor. I have the floor. I said
let him go through.
No, please. I said
yes.
My party, like you say in the communique you saw, has never been against the present move. But what we are saying here is this. No matter what we propose, and I said something like we may propose the best electoral code that humanity has ever known, for as long as it gets to this same National Assembly. And Lambri said something important, that if the people who are there are serving the interests of Cameroonians, but the question is, are they serving the interests of Cameroonians when their communication officer already comes out to tell you quite ahead of time that everything will be played at the National Assembly and reminds you that they have the majority? It means it is with that same majority that they will frustrate your proposals. Secondly, Mr. Lambris, I said something and I think you are a legal mind. Should go beyond just the electoral code and go for a coalition that does not just limit itself in the issue of the electoral code. That is where the problem lies. Because if we end at the level of the electoral code, we shall propose, but it shall be frustrated at the level of the National Assembly. And that's what I'm saying. Because, please, we do not yet have those institutions. My brother just said something. You have said the same thing. One of our panelists, the listeners, said the same thing. Elecam is not even an independent body, and those are the institutions we are talking about. How do you therefore expect that Elecam should act when they are not when they are not independent, when everything is handed to them? So that is the I'm done. He can say what he wants to say.
Okay.
But I'm saying, what I'm saying, I want to point out one thing. He should not misinterpret what I
You
said.
want institution.
One, my party is in for it.
Yeah.
Two, we want a institution where
Strong
we go
institution.
beyond just it should not just be like political parties are coming together to form just to propose just
If I
electoral
get
code
you right,
and
the
they end at that
reform
level.
should start at the level of institution, and if Elecam is part of this institution, reform should be taken from Elecam.
Oh, in fact, we need a total refoundation of Cameroon.
Okay, thank you.
No, but
yes. The 1 minute.
I'm glad that he's insisting on something.
Yes.
He has talked about institution.
And somebody had
The
a question.
strongest institution in this country is the presidency, and to assert to that institution is through election.
Okay.
The second strongest institution in this
the
country
electoral code
that
cannot
can
be new.
oppose, listen, that can oppose the action of the president is the National Assembly, is the legislative. Okay?
Yeah.
If you don't go to election, how will you assert that to become the speaker of the National Assembly? Listen, the speaker of the National Assembly can criticize. The speaker of the National Assembly can criticize the president. You want strong institution. Who will put the institution there if they want to be part of the team?
Yes.
Who is going to put the institution?
I have a question. I have a question for you.
I said pressure will cause things to change.
Okay. I have a question. Somebody sent. There's a question from Nelson that is being dedicated to the two of you. And maybe while you are saying it, let me look for it. Just let me open my. I saw it coming.
Young Dennis, I saw his reaction on Facebook, and his reaction was that of somebody who is happy of the initiative. But before I read Young Dennis' reaction, I read that of Lena, my brother. He blasted the issue. He actually blasted. I think it should be somewhere from Lena. I read his comment. He was blasting the whole thing. But when I read Njang, I saw that it was something different. So I was asking myself, how can they be the Secretary General?
I want to think that you must have seen
the Secretary General
after the president came out to talk.
Wait, let me say something. You see, then it's somehow funny because the Lena either would have met the president and they come with a joint communique. That's something that they have read, rather than sending something, because he is a Secretary General of your party, and whenever he sends an information like my party, you cannot see the Secretary General sending something to the air, which is different from what the president
that's an organization problem in their party.
Yes, something
since the creation of the SDA, when they have the absolute majority at the level of the National Assembly.
No, we have never had the
when they have majority at the level of the National Assembly.
Not even majority.
No private member B has ever been tabled at the level of the National Assembly.
See.
Do you think that will be possible now?
I want to disagree with the person who sent in. People, I'm not in support of the governing team, but I'm a critical mind and I observe keenly, very objective.
Yes.
I'm not pessimistic, I'm neither optimistic, but I'm very, very objective. Okay? I've seen the SDF bringing some changes in this country through the National Assembly. I can remember when the Operation Epervier started, Operation Sparrowhawk. They caught people and these persons were taken to the gendarmerie camp. Okay? The SDF through the National Assembly.
Mushpo case.
The SDF through the National Assembly, may so rest in peace, Honorable Awudu. Is it Bandam? I'm sorry. Bandam. They said, in Yaounde, we have just one prison. You cannot keep people in a military camp, which is not a prison. And that was debated in the National Assembly, and it was voted. And the President of the Republic brought a decree to create a secondary prison, now used as said.
So
okay, that is one challenge.
Okay,
now, in the National Assembly,
yes.
Sincerely speaking, we cannot stay in the quarter and bring change. You will not do that.
Now,
this is a country, you cannot stay in the quarter and bring change. Abel, I'm taking risks to come to your studio and say what I've always been saying for over 7 years today.
Yes.
At times I'm being threatened.
And we appreciate you.
At times I'm being threatened that I'll be locked up. But I will die to speak the truth rather than staying behind and waiting for other people to bring a change and I come and enjoy the change. Nobody pays me for what I'm doing, but I'm saving my country, bringing a quarter to the contribution of my country by speaking the truth, making some people to understand some certain things. If you are a political party, the only thing, the only way, and the only solution you can bring to a country is when you partake in putting out the policy. If I'm voted today as a mayor somewhere, okay, I will insist and I use the legal instrument. We saw it in Douala where a mayor actually challenged a Jew and that mayor won that case because most of them are ignorant. When you read the decentralization code, God forbid, the mayor has a lot of power. A lot of power. That is where you talk about institution. If I'm voted today a mayor, even a governor will not trespass
in my territory. I'm telling you, a governor will not pass in my territory because I am the representative of the people. Even the president of the republic will not give me an injunction. He will not do that because I will bring legal instrument to challenge his authority. That is what we are talking about institution. You should not sit and just say, okay, we want this. You use the legal instrument. What is there? What is there? And then you challenge the authority and you win the case. And that is what we talk about strong institution.
Understand what I said?
You
are talking about being voted a mayor. The question is under the present dispensation. What are your chances of being voted a mayor in this country? That's what we are saying. If you become mayor, as you say, you will implement all those things and make sure that there are institutions. But what chances do you have as of now to become mayor from your own circumscription? That is what we are saying. If you try, that's why I keep insisting. If you try legally, and you admitted with me that legally pressure can also be brought on government to amend certain situations already. You can never. So in that situation, therefore, we are saying, and I keep repeating, that the coalition that is being put in place.
Not coalition.
They come together.
My brother, let me tell you.
Mr.
You will not be awarded the 25 You must get involved.
Gentlemen,
get involved.
Gentlemen,
do it when it's wrong. You
gentlemen,
Mr. Lambris,
are we together?
Yes.
Who is sitting behind? That's the question I'm asking you. Who is sitting behind?
You. That one strong institution before you partake.
But I have told you what we stand for. Why are you talking about sitting behind?
Are we together?
I have told you what we stand for.
When we organize the next meeting.
Gentlemen,
listen. Let me answer this question. Let me answer this question.
Are we together?
Listen, please. Listen.
Are we together?
Let me answer. Listen, Mr. Samari.
Yes.
Let me just answer him. We were supposed to be there from the very first meeting. If you saw the communique my president sent out, that's your opinion.
You were supposed to be there.
We were supposed to be there, and something happened, and we made it known that in the next meeting we are going to be there. It was made known already. Are we together? So I don't know why you are insisting on giving up.
That's strong institution.
In an interview,
Mr. Lambris,
in an interview,
you are forcing an idea into me. I have not said.
In an interview, let me come.
You have imposed an idea. I've never said.
The moderator is talking. In an interview granted to Royal FM, the president says that he was invited, but other family issues comes up, which is personal.
Yes.
But because he has
already, other issues challenge his time.
No,
and that could not be there.
I'm talking per the interview he granted to Royal FM. He said other issues that came up, he could not meet the meeting, and that is why when the Secretary General came in, because the interview was in relation to two opinion coming from the same party, he said when the communique came in, the Secretary General, who at that time was in the far north region for party implantation, and he was not aware of what is happening on the ground because of communication problem that they had between Yaounde and the far north. Communication issue was not possible with the two of them. So that's why he made that press statement to correct that his party was invited, but on that day he had, because they told him if the president is not available, the Secretary General should not be available. But he accepted to be there. The few minutes to it, some issues came in, and then he needed to forego that aspect. But in the next meeting he's supposed to be, I believe, that has been said that his party is a member of the.
The explanation is some of what the political party are doing was to have a consensus.
Yeah, it's a consensus.
Thank God but that party should not only be about the president and the Secretary General. They have a vice, and it is structural. I believe it's a political party.
Yes, it's a political party.
They can send any other person to represent, insofar as you are a member of that political party.
If you listen to his interview right up to the end, the invitation specified the quality of persons that they
who was
needed.
inviting who.
Good. If the information is this, they are political parties at the level of the National Assembly, 3 of them.
Yes.
When Elecam sent in the release saying that people should propose, the other political parties first at the level of the National Assembly said that okay, this is a moment where we can sit and discuss. The UDC party, the PCRM party, and the SDF party, those are the 3 opposition parties that first of all brought the idea. And they extended it to other political parties that this is the idea. And even when I spoke with Prince Ekoso, he said that is when he saw, and the issue is they do not want a forum where political parties that are not in the members of the National Assembly should do it, because at the level of the National Assembly, who can propose a private member be and what they like? They needed somebody to be at the level of the National Assembly, and that is why you see the reforms is coming now at the level of the electoral code, so that people can be able to participate in an election where you know how to
in your own
good.
contribution.
So
there should be consensus, a consensus at the end
good.
of the day.
So those are the few points that
of giving up, because my party has never given up, and that's why I have to go back and read all of our communiques before that meeting and after the meeting. We have never. We are into it.
I'm not cutting your party. I'm cutting you.
No, but you putting me forward. I've not said.
You said.
Are we together, gentlemen?
You said here that it is not only about consultation of the electoral code, that you need strong institution. You cannot stay behind an institutions. How will you get to a strong institution if you don't win elections? It will be very, 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 very difficult.
And you know that
and it's impossible.
Good.
Yes.
What are your chances?
I'm the one asking questions here.
Huh?
I still ask you, what are your chances in this country of being voted mayor somewhere in this country as of now? For you to go and improve on those institutions.
I cannot measure my chances because I've never gone in.
Okay.
I'm not a member
and
of the
I'm talking
political
therefore
party.
as a political party where we have attempted elections before in this country.
It means you have given up because
Thank you.
We have not given up.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Our fight, Mr. I don't know why you keep insisting on
take this musical. We'll take this musical interlude. Just take this musical interlude. When we come back. Welcome back. If you sum of money dish out to revamp the economic, especially the economic of those who could not sustain, especially these periods of the coronavirus. And recently we saw a communique coming from the Secretary General, the Presidency of the Republic, asking an audit to the different structures that were supposed to handle the management of this fund. That is one aspect. The second aspect is that the barrier measures put in place by the government is not being respected by all. We saw the governor of this West region banning all funeral ceremony in the West region. I will see the President of the Republic coming to organize a funeral ceremony on behalf of the business magnate Pascal Monkam. And as we speak, not less than 2,000 persons are attending that funeral. And when we know government barrier measures talks of not more than 50%. Where are we with the coronavirus pandemic, gentlemen? I begin with with you. You are from the West region, and you know the importance of funeral ceremonies to your tradition. Where are we with the coronavirus pandemic?
Yeah, you know, the West region is one of those regions that have actually they have a very high score in terms of the infected persons, and even those who have died. I think it should be the second region and the third region after the center, the littoral. I think the West should be the third region. So I just believe, I just understand Mr. Governor's, you know, his measures. I want to understand, because you know that in the West region, funeral ceremony is like it's a great celebration. It's like a concert where you might see thousands of people coming together. So I just believe I just understand. Right, I just understand where he's coming from, because you know that if the West region is the third infected town in terms of the records we have, you know, he might be thinking, he might really be brainstorming to see that probably it might be also coming from see, you see, they were telling me because none of them were putting on the mask.
Did you ask yourself a question why?
No, the truth is that Cameroonians sometimes.
Do they even believe?
Cameroonians are. It's like we really need to carry out a study on Cameroonians. You see, when you have the corona, you die. It is not Biada dies. We should really be conscious of certain. My cry is that, to me, I believe that the governor has good intentions. According to me, he has good intentions. So, if he says funeral ceremony, stop, because it is different from burial ceremonies. If your person is dead, you can come and bury. There's no problem. But funeral ceremony, knowing how people from the West, how their mobilization in terms of
Is it the
funeral
burial
ceremony.
ceremony that is different from
No,
the mobilization?
the burial ceremony is always, is always the momentum is not always the same. Right? It's never the same. When people sit and say, because for funeral ceremony, they prepare funeral ceremony for quite a long time, for 10 years. People prepare their funeral ceremony for 10 years. And so they mobilize so many people from one angle to another. Whereas burial, you can contain people. You can actually contain people.
Hey man, we have the issue of the vaccine, a part of the barrier measures. We have the issue of the vaccine. At one point, it was AstraZeneca. At one point, it's the Chinese virus.
I don't really know about that question because when I look at things, when the coronavirus pandemic started, we saw the government, the Minister of Health, the health minister was really serious about communicating about the figures and the infected numbers and other like. So at a certain point of time, they had to abandon it. So that the one who first of all made it in such a way that Cameroonians like neglected the issue of coronavirus, because when it just came, we were really afraid of it. But later, Africa in general always have that what we call the complot. We always think that you are still very skeptical about the vaccines and all that. Even in Europe, we still have people who refuse those vaccines. But the issue is just to communicate and all that. Like, and about the leaders, what we said about the traditional medicines, what the leader proposed and all that. Like, I think it's something good, like. Somebody to come now with something in traditional medicine that is going to cut off their own profit is already problematic. And then we see what happened to AstraZeneca, we have a Johnson and Johnson, all these are varieties of this, so they're competing. So it's just a fight. It's a political fight, or an economic fight. Everybody wants to gain from it. That's why now like this, we don't see our traditional medicine coming to the forefront, because in Cameroon itself, we still have our donors, we still have our partners with whom they prefer to collaborate than taking all this traditional medicine. So that's my little opinion about the issue.
Elvis, the IMF on the neck of the government for the management of the coronavirus pandemic. The funds destined, we don't know where it has finally gone to. We saw the other day, I even got some information that the Minister of officials of the Ministry of Public Health are saying that there are some people who sign out money without penning down their signatory. Where are we with the coronavirus pandemic?
Mr. Bella Samari, I think that is the question that you should go back to the Ministry of Public Health and ask them, let them actually answer to us, because you know when you talk about the IMF, at one point in time I begin to even question what some of these international bodies are actually up to. You see, because even before giving this fund, it's not the first time they are giving funds to the government in this country, and they know that at the end of the day there are never any positive results as to what the funds were used for. Now, talking about IMF on the neck of government, you know, we saw some statistics. Let me say, thanks to Honorable Nietzsche of the SDF, you see, and in those statistics, they will tell you, for instance, we know officially that this government received that department could better give us answers to, because those of us who are outside observers, it will be difficult for us to answer to those questions, knowing fully well that, like I would say personally, that anything that has to do with funds in this country, we always know the outcome even before this government starts manipulating the funds, because nothing will ever come from them. Remember that when Corona came into play, it was supposed to be a national issue where we all fight it as Cameroonians, but they decided to politicize the whole thing, and of course, knowing fully where that money was going to come to the whole show, it turned out to be a business. When today we are told that the head of state has ordered an inquiry into the whole case, the question is, who is going to investigate who? It is a game within them. It's a whole cycle. It's a vicious cycle where the guys have put in place, and you see at the end of the day, some accountability as to how this money was all spent. But like I say, the figures that we see out there are alarming. It reminds me of the 2019 Nations Cup, where bags of cement were sold at 16,000 francs and trips of sand at 7,000 francs.
I've never seen anybody from the government doing anything apart from the TV. I said I've never seen it physically live. I've never seen it. I have never. But I've seen people from other organizations doing things of the coronavirus in my quarter. But I've never seen any state official either distributing masks, either, I don't know, Oka rice. I'm still waiting for my own. And so many other things. I've not seen it.
The Oka rice is not within what the IMF is demanding. Okay, maybe you are just.
I live in Yaounde. I live in Yaounde. I leave my house in Yaounde.
So you mean to tell us that the government have done nothing?
I live in Yaounde 3. I live in Yaounde 3. I work in Yaounde 1. I crisscross so many other divisions before going to Yaounde 1, coming back to my place. And I'm always subdivision, sorry. I'm always in Yaounde 6. Well, I've never seen anything.
Yaounde 1, Yaounde 3, Yaounde people might be confused. Let's go quarter by quarter.
Okay. What I'm saying is, I live in the neighborhood of the Flan, that area, which is
that is Yaounde 3.
Yes. Where from Mendong, Obili, all those places, it depends. Obili, part of Obili is in Yaounde 3, and part is in Yaounde 6. I walk in Bastos.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
And I crisscross.
You go to Yaounde 6, which is a
I've never seen it.
Okay.
I've never seen it. I mean, seeing it physically. I've never ever. And I heard that I spent 180 billion. I bought facial masks before for 1,000 francs. Now I'm buying it for 100 francs. And I want to ask those people selling it. I want to
maybe the government has subsidized the
price. I ask them a question. Okay. I want to engage myself into this business.
They say it's very difficult.
Where are you getting it? I want to go directly to the warehouse so I can buy and be selling like you. They say no, c'est difficile d'avoir. I get to understand something. That the government buys 1,000, and then I don't know, they sell for people to come and sell it for 100 francs.
Maybe
I don't know. But sincerely,
every Cameroonian should have
it is not a joke. It is not a joke. When this minister was appointed as the minister of health, people hailed him, people celebrated him, People congratulated him before he even started performing his duty. Okay? And some people even thought that he was a medical doctor. Until after a lot of shouting and say, okay, this is the right person that have put a square pegs into a square hole. They discovered that he was an academic doctor. And they were shouting, oh, he's doing that, he's very excellent, he's good, he's perfect, he's the best of the ministers. Look at what is happening today. I repeat, there was a company that at times I even go there and I buy. I've been buying, meaning that I've been helping them to pay taxes to my government. They gave rice free of charge. I'm still waiting for my few kilos so I can eat even for a meal. I'll know that, okay, when we were...
If they want to share those things, will it be equivalent to all Cameroonians?
We calculated it that day. And I said, according to the statistics of the National Counting Commission census, right? Officially, Cameroon is 19 million something. Officially. Since the last time that they did the head count, okay? If they share the bags of rice, it means that they are owing me 4 kilos of rice, and I'm waiting for it.
But we are more than 19 today.
They should come and give. I'm talking about officially. This is a country we don't guess. We talk about official figures, right? We don't guess. Like the other day, I was criticizing the person who comes and speak after the voice of somebody. But sincerely, they have been stealing in this country where theft have become like a joke. That 180 million has gone to billion, sorry. And it's like it's normal. Like we saw what happens to Olembe, it's like it's normal. And then a commission of inquiry is being issued by the president of the republic, and it means that it has ended. And people going to prison and dying in prison without bringing in the money, it will not help us for anything. There is corruption everywhere we accept, but instruments to fight corruption needs to be more stronger.
We need strong institution.
I hate when people talk about the Special Criminal Tribunal. I hate it because the Special Criminal Tribunal is there to encourage corruption, is there to encourage embezzlement, is there to encourage mismanagement, is there to encourage stealing. You cannot tell me that if I steal 500,000 francs CFA in our penal code, that is the same code that is being applied to those who steal billions, and you say if you go to the Special Criminal Tribunal and you steal more than 50 million francs CFA and you shamefully accept to give the money, and then you'll be set free. And the person who steals 500,000 francs, even if you accept, you pay the money plus damages and reparation, and you serve a prison terms, at times maybe life imprisonment. It means that instead of me stealing 500,000 francs, I will look for a way to steal billions. If they don't catch me, okay. If I'm being caught, okay. I refund the money and I go free. Because if I keep 1 billion in the bank and they catch me after 20 years and I remove the 1 million I give, I'll still remain a billionaire because the money must have produced what? Interest. Do you see what our country is doing for us? But sincerely, there will come a day where all these people will pay that price. Because these people who are actually bringing the country back, the country has given everything to them. They went to school free. When they were in the university, they were being paid. When they went for scholarship in Europe, they begged them to come back and work in Cameroon. They have been working, they don't even know potholes, they don't know the price of bread, and today they are punishing us. We are suffering every day. But there will come a day, from generation to generation, this country, everything will be seized from them and their bank account frozen. You cannot hide in the 21st century because everything has been everything is in the war of digitalization. Okay, everything is there. All money transaction, we are going to trace all those people. And from the moment, I'm glad that there is a bill very soon in the National Assembly.
Yeah,
where if they see you, maybe
if they see you
putting on a shirt while you're a truck pusher, and they know that how much you work a day as a truck pusher, 2,000 francs, and you're putting on a shirt for 50,000 francs, and then you explain where you got the money from.
And equally, there is a bill, and we are hoping to have that bill on corruption in the month of June.
Yes, what I wanted to add is that
it's
like the government
to what Nelson said.
Yes. In terms of, I'm talking about corruption. Okay. You see,
okay,
and globally, yes, coronavirus within which we are talking about coronavirus and the corruption that is taking place within the coronavirus. What I want to let you know is this: is that if Cameroon is a vehicle, my brother, if the Cameroon government is a vehicle, know that corruption is the gas that the vehicle uses. So we should understand that this government works on corruption, and the government can never work if corruption is not there. In fact, they use corruption as a mechanism to withhold people.
Evis, one word?
Well, what I can simply say is Cameroonians, like they will say in France, on a pre-act. And we are waiting therefore to see if what feedback they will bring up from the inquiry. They say the head of state has instructed. Yes.
Herman, thank you for coming. We will be together
Next time.
and we welcome Jean-Marie Andaba, who is joining us in the studio. Have you also taken notes of all that we have discussed here? Jean-Marie Andaba, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Ebel Bella Samari. Good afternoon to your guest. Good afternoon to our listeners. Good afternoon to all Cameroonians.
Le Cameroun est debout.
Le Cameroun est debout. Vous savez, quand moi je suis debout, j'imagine que le Cameroun c'est moi. Et parce qu'il faut passer par moi.
Okay.
Pour faire un Cameroun
pour faire
nouveau.
évaluation.
Un bon Cameroun.
So what are we going to be discussing today in
Oui, vous avez parlé de corruption. C'est vrai que c'est l'un des sujets abordés par le Parlement, mais on s'est rendu compte que, vous savez que la session de mars, quand les députés commençaient cette session, on se disait qu'elle devait aboutir sur le vote ou l'adoption des textes organiques et constitutionnels, comme le code électoral. Et vous savez qu'il y a un groupe de 7 partis politiques de l'opposition qui a décidé d'aborder la question de la révision consensuelle du code électoral. Malheureusement, il faut attendre le 15 avril pour voir si les Camerounais ont quand même fait des propositions. Le 15 avril n'est pas encore arrivé, mais au Cameroun, on parle encore de la crise sanitaire. En 24, nous avons 3 hauts commis de l'État qui sont décédés, mais on vous apprend que des gens ont donné les sommations aux Camerounais pour lutter contre le Covid-19, et alors qu'ils avaient détourné les fonds du Fonds monétaire international. Donc, on va s'intéresser au volet politique de ce détournement présumé des fonds du Covid-19 pour se demander est-ce que le remaniement ministériel n'est pas la véritable sanction pour qu'on mette KO tous ceux qui ont pris l'argent des sommations.
Listeners, don't move a muzzle, because up next is Barometric Politics with Jean-Marie Andaba. Good afternoon and stay blessed.